And last but not least, it's Touhyville Day. Yeah.
Yay!
On this date in 2005 was when I started Touhyville, the show Touhyville.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Try not to cry. Woosa. Woosa.
Yeah, no Worcester.
Oh.
So here's how it started. So we started a new show on an FM station that had always had satellite radio.
Okay.
The station did not listen to me and take off the satellite show for like 2 weeks leading up to it, like just like to promote. We just ran promos saying there's new things are coming. And they were all like kind of vague. It was like the carnival's a blast, radio should be too, things like that. Okay. So it was all around the amusement park for your mind, the carnival for your cranium, the holiday for your head. That's where Touhyville started, with the amusement park for your mind. That was always my thing. I always thought radio in its serious days was theater of the mind. We even have Batman talking about it in the open. He says theater of the absurd. So so it was always theater of the mind was radio. I thought, well, my show is never serious. I want it to be the fun time, the amusement park.
Yeah.
And that's where amusement park for your mind came from.
Yeah.
So Touhyville is a made-up town, quasi-based on Willy Wonka, because I didn't see that until I was 30. So so I went with that idea, and it was a whole carnival theme. I still have a banner in my house for Touhyville. And it's got the carnival. The logo was Touhyville with the big top tent, and then a cartoon of me that was much more not caricature-ish. It was an actual just cartoon of me drawn by a local artist in Ottawa, Illinois. It was a kid. He was like 19, 20 years old. So that was the logo that we went with. So around the idea of the amusement park, I went to, forget where. It was like Costco or one of those kind of places. It might have been Sam's Club. And I got like 10 cases of animal crackers because they had the
plain or frosted.
Plain.
Ugh.
So
I like the pink frosted. Yeah. Okay.
I'm proud of you. That has nothing to do with my story.
Okay, sorry.
So I went and got, and they were all little individual bags.
Yeah.
In these big giant boxes. So I then went and had a printer make up like a false front for them. Touhyville on the river. It was 95.3, I think. And, with Steve Touhy and Andy Decker and this whole thing. And I sat for a week and stapled them to these things, the top and bottom, staples. I mean, I just sat watching TV at night. So my dad came out, and then every employee at the station, other than the people that were on the air in the morning, went out. We had worked out a deal with a local chain of gas stations that they were all out there handing them out to people pumping their gas all morning.
Nice.
Oh, you're in there getting coffee? Here's some free cookies. So that's how we started the show. That, and then the local McDonald's took the flyers. They didn't serve the crackers because they couldn't serve other food.
Yeah.
Took the flyers, and in every bag that went out through the drive-through and inside, stuffed it with a flyer. So it was like this big thing that we did to launch it.
Yeah.
So, and that was on this date in 2005. So
19 years
ago. So next year will be our 20th anniversary. So
you should do a T-shirt for that.
Yeah.
Like with the, like morphing the info together.
Yeah. Yeah, I should. Yeah. So, and it came out of the fact that I was doing an afternoon talk show on their AM station leading up to this. And actually for the first 6 months, I was doing both. I was doing a morning talk show, or the morning show on their FM station. And then I'd go across the hall in the afternoon. And I remember I would go home in the middle of the day and take a nap.
Split shifts are terrible. I did that when I worked for Jenny Craig. Ugh.
And I would set my alarm because you could fall into a deep sleep sometimes doing this shift. And I can't tell you how many times I would wake up and not know which 3 o'clock was which 3 o'clock, because I was on the air at 3:00 in the afternoon, but in the middle of the night, I'd wake up and see 3:00 and I go, I'm late for the afternoon. No, it's morning. It's morning. Okay. Whew, okay. All right. Let's all calm down. Yeah. So many times, just because this was this was a point in my life where I was living in an apartment with no windows. So day and night meant nothing to me. And I was often, I had, it wasn't even a futon.
With you. That's terrible.
It wasn't even a futon. It was like a day bed that I converted into a couch. So I slept almost all the time in the living room. So like day and night, I would just sleep in the living room. And I was just like,
look at you now.
I didn't know what was happening. Yeah. So yeah. So anyway, so I thought that was a fun way to kick off the show in 2005. Here I kicked off the show with much less hoopla, pretty much because they had finally decided that I could do it. So it was just kind of like, yeah, that sounds good. We'll start that Monday. And there was like the week before. I was like, it's fine. Wow. I'll just go do it. It'll all be fine. And now look, it turned out fine. We're here and everything. So
can you believe it? I still can't believe we're on together.
I know. A lot of
once I shake all the
year.
Sleepiness off, I think I'm going to enjoy it a lot.
Well, I think you enjoy it during it. It's the idea of afterwards. The crash is new.
Horrible.
Yeah.
I haven't slept right in a long time.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's about.
Just getting used to the world. Yeah. It's a whole thing. But yeah. So once again, February 28th has come and will go. But I've been saying that I'm going to do this podcast at some point.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll hop on today and at least, chat a little bit about what today is and maybe that'll force me to get
it because you have such good stories. I mean, I still don't know all of them, and I was married to you for almost 8 years.
And I always think that you do know them. And then we went out for my birthday this year, and somehow we got on to John Landecker, and we went through a whole thing. So no, I do want to do that at some point.
And the smoking,
sharing more of the stories.
The story with what's his name, the teeth guy,
Morton Downey Jr.
Morton Downey Jr.
Yeah.
I mean, I just remember detesting him because he was so obnoxious, in the Geraldo Rivera days, and I was like, sure. I can't believe you smoked with him. But I'm telling you, that's the only downside to you not smoking anymore. In Vegas, you met everybody I didn't meet. You met everyone. You'd be on a smoke break and I'd be sitting at the restaurant, or I'd be, whatever. And you'd have gone to the bathroom and you met Tom Colicchio, which gave me a heart attack from Top Chef, because we were all into Top Chef at that time. So out he comes from his restaurant. Yeah. You smoked with Linda Blair. I remember that. I'm like, that is
Linda Hamilton.
Linda Hamilton. Yep. Sorry. They look a little different.
Yes. Yes.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Your stories were crazy, but then it made Comic-Con when we went and took the kids so much more enjoyable. Who's the Incredible Hulk guy?
Lou Ferrigno.
Yep.
Yeah.
All
so
of it
many,
was crazy.
so many. Yeah. So that's why one of these days I'll sit and start doing the podcast, because I don't want to spend every show just telling stories about myself, but I would like to do a podcast so that if people are interested in those stories, they can go back and
right. But you're not egoistic where you're like, and when I met him,
no. But
he was lucky to talk to me.
No,
it's not how you are.
Every single time
but you've got stories that are hysterical where you're just normally talking to these people. I still am mad. The one thing I'm mad at was that we couldn't get a third ticket when you and Mike went to the cocktail party with Batman and Robin.
Yeah, Adam West.
Because after I met him, I mean, I was a mess. I didn't ever want to wash my hand again.
I know. Yeah.
I mean, he just ever so gently kissed my, oh my gosh. And he was like, I don't know, how old was he? Did we figure out? Upper 70s.
Oh, yeah, by then,
The most debonair, class act, sexy man ever. I mean, not besides you.
Well, of course.
Sorry.
Of course.
He knocked me out. And I didn't have that. You were the Batman guy, not me. Like, I was like, okay,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Lots of fun stories over the years. So I will, I may or may not start doing the podcast today. So, yeah.
Okay. So that's good. Who's the best or top 3 people you interviewed ever?
Oh boy. Oh, I don't know.
Top 3. What most memorable?
Oh, well, I
for
mean,
good or for bad.
Okay. Most memorable, I mean, that stick out to me right now, and it's because of childhood. Adam West,
Yeah, of course.
was
Yeah,
got to be the top.
Got to be the top. Yeah.
And then the fact that he passed away later, was even bigger. Nikki Sixx from Motley Crue. They had come out with a book all about Motley Crue. I was really into Motley Crue as a teenager. They were like my favorite band growing up, and my former partner had worked it out to get him on my birthday. So that was cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's way cool.
So that stood out, as
Andy,
one.
is that Andy?
No, that was Mike.
Okay.
Yeah. And then number 3 is like, there's so many. I guess I'll probably say Tommy Smothers, just because I think like that one stuck out for me, just because it was the Smothers Brothers. So I like old comedy. Like people always ask me stuff about music, and I'm always like, listen, I'm the guy on the radio who knows nothing about music. I know what the computer tells me, and I mean, there's so many. Like, it's funny. There's so many like rock stars that I don't know a lot about, and I just look it up while we're talking with them, and then I go, oh wow, that's neat.
Yeah,
But yeah, so those are probably top 3, but I have so many good ones because of where they went. Weird Al, having fun with him. And I asked him, cause he was on a radio tour, and I said, okay, since you're being asked a million questions by all these radio people today, what is the worst question anyone has asked you so far today? And he goes, okay. He goes, this is good. He goes, the worst question anybody has asked me is, what's the worst question anybody has asked? And I'm like, yeah. So he got me. But I mean, the list is so long.
Jest. He's so funny.
Yes.
I mean,
the list is so long, even though he's Cucamonga. I've talked to John Schneider now 2-3 times, that's really cool.
Yeah. And he's very, very, he's aging well. Like, he reminds me of Rob Lowe in terms of like, they just are getting at John Cougar Mellencamp. Like, they're all getting Bon Jovi. Those guys were there.
John Schneider? You think it's?
I do. Yeah. I thought he was really hot when we went to the Speedway.
The only thing is his eyebrows are getting very Andy Rooney. If you see him now, like they're the guy from 60 Minutes. His eyebrows are getting bushier and bushier.
Okay.
Yeah. And
so they look are all funny. Of us. I
know, but they look kind of funny.
Now I'm going to be looking at them.
So yeah. So anyway. So yeah. I mean, I've gotten the chance to talk with the ones that have been on multiple times. Have been a lot of fun. Al Lewis, who played Grandpa Munster, was always a lot of fun. We had him on for 3, 4, 5 different Halloweens in a row.
Do you have liners from him?
Oh yeah,
because his voice was awesome.
Yeah, he was just he was so fun. Always like being silly and making dirty jokes, and I mean, he was just not what you would expect from Al Lewis. But yes,
now
just a lot of fun.
Were the experiences of you interviewing on air better than, equal to, or less than, like, in excitement as meeting them in person? Like, were you tongue-tied when you met them? Because at Comic-Con, you were really kind of cool about it. And then people just did liners. It was the wackiest thing ever. Like, we would just stop them. They go, okay.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think I'm probably always more relaxed on the radio because I feel like they're coming into my house. You know what I mean? So it's like, so I'm always a little more more relaxed.
You don't know who this is. This is Al Lewis, Grandpa Munster, and you know what you're doing? What I'm doing? Yeah, you're listening to Steve. But yeah, Emma, I told you, knock that dust off your shoes, sit down, and get away from that dial, because we're going to listen to Steve. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
The late great Al Lewis, Grandpa Munster.